Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to be modeling the bowl of the spoon. So I'm going to jump straight into what I've done step by step. So here's this tang. At the moment, if you have a look at it, it is offset by 5.2 from the sketch, and I've made this as a part of the configuration, which means that in other configs it'll revert to the sketch plane. So I can reuse that bit in other configurations quite easily. The next step is to create this project curve. Okay, so I'm going to delete this for now and just start with the two curves. So that's the top curve. Let's edit it and just see what I've done here. So this is just an ellipse which I've sliced off and then put some tangent curves in, and those are curves as well. And this bit on the end here represents what happens. Let's just exit this. You can see it represents that tang so that I can position these curves. So I'll just quickly draw this again just to show you how simple it is. So select the ellipse tool, place it where you want to start, do those two, and then select either the horizontal or the vertical and establish a relationship. That's to prevent the ellipse from rotating. Put in some dimensions to control what it does. And then what I've done from here on out is I've introduced this dynamic mirror entities around that line there, so that everything I do on one side gets done on the other. I'm going to use these just to control where this cutout goes. So let's make that 15, and we'll just slice this bit out, and then this bit here I'm just going to draw as a representation, so it'll be something like that. Right, so that would obviously be controlled. I can then move these in and out, something like that. Okay, so the last two is just to put in a 3-point arc going from there to a bit lower. And then the last one, you won't be able to put in a fillet. You'll have to use, where is it? You'll have to use the tangent arc. The fillet won't work because you have an ellipse going all the way around, and it won't know which point of the geometry to choose. So there we go. I've got tangent arc, and the moment I dimension this, I can start controlling what it does. So that's the basics of how I got this right. So the rest of my sketch goes dark because of that dimension and that dimension, which I'm not going to put in over here. Right, let's exit that sketch and have a look at the other sketch, which is this one here. This is made up of three arcs, 1, 2, 3. So convex, another convex, and then a concave. So the convex I've linked to the end of the ellipse that represents the bowl, and then another point approximately where those two would connect. Then I've put in this slightly steeper convex, and then the concave, and then this 23.5 is a crucial dimension, so I can actually copy it. And it's crucial because I'm going to put my first plane here. You'll see why in a minute. And then I've just put in the 6.01. That's a derived dimension. You can't change it. That's just so that I've got reference to see how much to lift my tang up later on. I'll explain as I go. Okay, so going to curves, project curve, you'll select the two curves and you'll get a third curve from it. Sketch on sketch. So I'm left with that single curve, and what I want to do now is I want to bridge this curve at certain points with other curves that either dip in or dip out. So concave obviously in the bowl, a little bit concave here, then suddenly convex, and then straight at the end. And to do that I need some planes. So if we go to the right plane, remember this, you just hold the control button down, drag the plane out, and then inside your properties bar type in how many copies you want, 6 for instance. You don't have to control anything initially because you're going to control these using dimensions. So I can drag these around, or I can connect them in other ways. So I'm going to backtrack on that because I've got these in place already, and I'll just show you what I've done. So the first one, remember that 23.5. So when I got this first one in place, I just double clicked in here and dropped that dimension in. Right. The second one, I've placed sort of midway down this first convex curve. The second one about midway down the concave. The third one, sorry, that should be the fourth one. Right, the fourth one is just inboard of the bowl of the spoon, also on the concave. The fifth one is in the middle of the bowl of the spoon, or approximately, and the sixth one near the end, not too close to the end. So you'll see that these three here should be roughly equispaced. Okay, then the next step is to do the surface fill. I'm going to delete this and start again. All right, and so here are my sketches. Now, I've already edited these, but what might have happened if you've reintroduced this is you might get an error here. So if I introduced something like this, right, or if I just got rid of it, there might be a green point here. So the way to fix this is just to select the end you want, and then the sketch, introduce your make pierce again, and then if you've got an excess one, just find the one which looks green, and I don't have an error at the moment, and then delete that one. So that's what I've done with all of these. So I've put all these sketches in. Let's just show them all to you quickly so you can see what's happening. Okay, so there's my basic outline. So I'm going to be using this projected curve together with all of these control curves. So that one's straight. Each one of these has got its own dimension, so I can alter it if I want. So it's slightly convex, slightly more convex, and so forth. Once you've got those in place, you go to surfaces, and we're going to use the filled surface. So in class I try to use the boundary surface. You can use that. Sorry, let me just switch off my suspected spam horrible telephone. So what I had tried to do was create a boundary surface. You can do that. It's a little bit more complex. This way it's going to work just fine, although filled surface typically gets used in other situations. But it'll work just fine here. So filled surface, we're going to choose the boundary, the patch boundary. You see it should do this straight away if you've got fix up boundary selected. If you haven't, nothing will happen until you click on it. And then go to constraint curves, and then insert these curves one by one, or select them one by one. And those will constrain the shape of this bowl, and then you'll get this little excess piece in the end. Don't worry about it. We could actually have made that curve there closed and it wouldn't happen, but this is just as good. So to snip that bit off, go to a plane which is appropriate, which is the top plane in this case. I'm going to put a line in here, a midpoint line, and I'm simply going to overlay it over that straight line which I already have in place. Exit, and then under surfaces, find trim surface. So I've got my trim tool as that sketch, and then go to remove selections. You can either keep or remove. We want to remove, and simply select the bit you don't want and say goodbye. All right, there we go. We've got the surface we need. 2 or 3 more steps. One is to thicken this. So let's go to thicken. Let's select that surface. You can either go upwards, both sides, or downwards. I want to go downwards by 1.8. Say yes. We've got it. And now I want to connect that face to this face here. So the face on the spoon to the face on the tang using a loft, but this is in the wrong position. So I'm going to select it, edit it, and then under from plane, we're going to say offset, and then here you can type this in. So remember it was 6.01 minus, and it's 0.9 because that's half of 1.8. That'll give me 5.11. And then as long as you select this configuration, this offset condition will only apply in this configuration, not in any others. So now we're ready to do the last two steps. One is to go to Features, Lofted Base, and we're going to select one face and the other. If they mix up, just drag one of these around so that they connect correctly. And then you might not need, but I'm just going to put them in any case, start and end constraints of tangency to face. So we're done. And that's all you need to do. I'm going to add in a little bit of a fillet just to say, just out of interest to see what it would look like once you polished it. So I've got 0.5 in there. This is not essential at all. It's actually contradictory of the manufacturing process, but just as a visual aid to see what happens. And that's how you do it. Happy modeling. Cheers.